Hi, guys. Today I'm going to be looking at Donald Trump and his hush money criminal trial. And very quickly, I'm just going to ask if it is likely that he will be found guilty. So I'm going to be initially looking for a yes no set of cards. I read in pairs, so I'll draw two to look at. But I will be especially looking at the very first card that I draw. So I want to ask my spiritual mentors and ancestors, the Creator, to help me read accurately and clearly. Will Donald Trump be found guilty of covering up the scandal with Stormy Daniels? Will he be found guilty of that? Trying to cover this up. So let's take a look and see. All right. I get a feeling that he will be found guilty. So here's the moon. There's still some fluid hidden. This is actually also the cover up. Okay, let me get, and wanting to walk away. Look at that with the Eight of Wands. I'm sorry, the Eight of Cups. Not wanting to have to be accountable and trying to walk away from his accountability and cover this up. And there's a woman here that's under a great depth of water. So to me, this is him trying to cover up the scandal and act as though he didn't do anything, not be held to account. That it is indeed, I think, a cover up that he tried to get away with. So that right there confirms the initial feeling that I got with no cards, just that I take into myself, where I'm getting that voice, if you will, that says yes. There is a strong feeling there of yes, he will be found and to be guilty of covering up and trying to get away with it in order so that he could try to do his political agenda more freely. Here we get this Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. So there is some aspect of withdrawing back, a need to heal, and pulling back. So this to me also comes off as like evidence, data, what is manifested, money, and definitely money to not be active, to be quiet and withdrawn. So that is definitely going to be looked at. And that to me is the hush money itself, right there. Be quiet, don't come forward, pull back, and take what is offered to you. It looks to me like this will be demonstrated that he did this. There's the Nine of Cups and the World. This is trying to make it go away so that he can successfully have what he wants, achieve what he wants. A wish comes true. But it's all about pleasure as well with the Nine of Cups. Again, getting things and having things go your way. So that you can look like you have a clean plate. You're not being held to account. I feel like he felt like he initially got away with that. Like his wish came true when he got elected, and that he was able to create this cover up initially. That's interesting that the very first cards out from the get go are the Eight of Cups and the Moon, and how the hush money shows up with the Four of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. Now we're getting the Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man. This is looking at things from another perspective, and I think him also trying to delay things with this case. I think he will be trying to stall and use emotionally charged, expressive responses. So he's not going to be quiet through this, as you can well imagine. And I think he is going to be shown to be someone that tries to manipulate through emotions and gain delay. The Sun and the Hermit. This may end up making him feel that he is not, that he's more alone. Something becomes clear, and I think it has a lot to do with the personal shares that people will be having to relate with regard to this. I think he is not going to have the support completely that he's anticipated. And there is a feeling of having to go alone, go this unique path. But there's wisdom here too with that Hermit, and looking more in depth at the details and exposing them and sharing that. This could also indicate that this information has been hidden from the public, or been really kept from the public, hidden, if you will, kind of like the Hermit, remote, more remote, and not so easily found or revealed. You really have to look more between the lines and look more deeply. But that will be found. There's something here that will be clear about actions and trying to get away with something for one's own agenda. The Three of Pentacles, these are the people that help him, and they're to cover up the financial aspect and the payment agreement with Stormy, and the details around it. The people that helped him to, number one, firstly, deal with her and pay her, which I believe Michael Cohen was involved in, and then now the details of trying to cover up those actions come out in abundance. This makes me feel that there were people that worked with him that are maybe going to talk a lot, because they are no longer on his team. And maybe that Hermit And the son is him really beginning to realize that he does not have power and sway over these people anymore the way he once did, and had that security. So I feel like the exposure of the financial details and of those that helped him to arrange this cover up, and prior to that, the interaction and payment to her, are going to talk. Here's the fantasy and the pursuit. And I also feel like potentially he could have been using some kind of substance uh, that motivated him. I feel like it's also the attempt to confuse and leave room for doubt. But it's, to me, showing this delusion isn't honest. It doesn't hold water with this Page of Wands. It's just the fantastical ideas and fantasy that this guy tries to project. There's a lot of projection here of fantasy or deluded ideas. And in trying to hide the money too, this kind of feels like the Game of Cups, of what's under this cup, what's in, trying to skew or confuse, blur the lines. By what this was payment for, and money, and the shifting around of money and information. We get the Ace of Wands and the High Priestess. So there's definitely going to be hidden aspects that are activated and become known. So things that he did, things he intended and had others do, what he was motivated to act upon, but wanted to keep quiet, what he wanted to keep from public view and understanding. And I believe, again, that there's going to be progress made in really going over the paperwork, the paper trail, and the actions that were quickly, very quickly, initiated. And this is the moving, I feel like, also of data, trying to shift or hide information, moving it away. We get the Ten of Pentacles and the Fool. This is taking a risk with the family money, the family brand. Also, those who would be supporting him being foolish, being fooled. How can he fool them? How can he deny this and taking that risk and trying to cover up and use this money in a foolish, risky manner? And there's a childishness as well to this, in expectation that he could just do this and get away with it. The Eight of Wands and the Two of Wands, accelerating the taking of opportunity, the creating a plan, and this plan being acted upon. The cover-up. There's the Two of Cups and the Lovers. To me, this is the intimacy between him and Stormy. It's also people that are partnered up with him. Potentially his wife at the time as well, the choices he was making in relationships. And maybe trying to get her support despite what he did. But this also, I think, shows an exhaustion with the whole thing. And now there's a new light being put upon aid in, I feel like, the cover up. Of this affair, one night stand. Judgment and the Three of Swords. This shows betrayal, and there's awareness of betrayal. So to me, this indicates not being truthful, causing a great deal of suffering of other people, not telling the truth, covering up this scandal, and people not being as gullible, because judgment comes and says you're going to be held to account for what you've done. You've caused suffering. You've broken basic decency here. I think too, the pain that the suffering that he caused in the process will become more evident to people in what he did to cover it up, his actions. We get the Knight of Swords and the Four of Wands. To me, again, there is a very much knee-jerk reaction and trying to come across as a family person. But it doesn't quite feel authentic. It's just more of, I feel like, disinformation, image, false image. Yeah, there's manipulation here with the Magician and the Four of Pentacles. He's trying to control information and hold things back to benefit himself. And there's manipulation with the Magician in how things manifest. So I think he is going to be in trouble and found guilty for this involvement. I think it's going to be really evident. and we're just going to learn more information about it and his efforts. Here we have the king. This is all about money, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles, and a plan. He was determined, I feel like, to achieve the goal. And so he was determined to cover it up. He wasn't about to be honest about this. Here's the King of Pentacles and strength. And to me, this is Trump wanting to have the financial support and position of strength. But he's too controlling, and he is maladaptive in being able to control his whims and wants and himself, period. I think that this will be evident also, once again, in court, that he struggles to keep himself under control. The Knight of Cups and the Three of Wands. For me, this is definitely some kind of offer that may have been made so that he could get in the future the position that he wanted, his agenda. I feel that by covering this up, there's coming up with different, oh no, that's not what I did. It's not honest. It is definitely an agenda and trying to sway people. And it's very underhanded. The Nine of Wands and Justice. I think he's going to be found guilty. And this may end up taking a good chunk of his stamina out from under him. I do think that justice will win the day. But it will go through legitimate challenge with him. Very trying, but I feel that justice prevails despite the efforts of him to, I feel like, keep this from coming out. Seven of Wands and the Star. He wants to look like he's able to handle this. So there's a lot of attention that's being shown to about his defense, how he's defending himself, how he responds. I feel like the media is just going to saturate the news with it, this trial. We see two women, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles. Is this Melania? I'm not sure. And the Queen of Wands, not sure. Is this someone that helped him? Yeah, two women who live well, thank you very much. I feel like it's Melania and another female that are fond of a lifestyle. I don't know. Maybe that's how He just gave her money so she wouldn't complain about his behavior. Maybe that's something to do with it. But here it comes, is going to be the truth is going to come out with the Ace of Swords regarding the need to win and the will to cause harm in order to get that agenda, to get one's way, and to do so in a very, frankly, criminal, underhanded manner. Two of Swords and the Six of Swords. I believe a decision, though, is going to be made, and it really brings progress in what he's trying to stop. I feel like he can't stop it. That this movement is just going to continue to press forward, and what he has tried to prevent isn't going to work. People are going to see the details. They're going to hear about it. They're going to know about it. And I just feel that the jury will decide that he's not above the law. The Ten of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So, and a burden in the Five of Cups. I feel like he's going to be the worse for wear. I don't think he's going to get away with it. I think he's going to feel somewhat, maybe even stunned by the loss that he's going to incur, and a very heavy burden then is on his shoulders. So it may cause some depression for him. There's just a really heavy energy there. I get the Wheel and the Six of Wands. There's a change that is coming. And I see success in what I feel like is the law, being able to hold him to account, and people making an intelligent decision in this trial. There's recognition. Maybe of one of the prosecutors being able to reveal deeper detail that is going to matter to the jury. I'm going to do the whole darn deck. This is Ivanka. This is his daughter. And this is not feeling very confident. This is feeling like you're not in a stable situation, that you don't have a good footing. And there's decline financially going on, and loss of stability financially, and I feel like a loss of business, and people not wanting to do business, people treating them like they're radioactive. I see celebration with a male that's a specialist, and I don't think it's Trump. I think it's definitely a male figure that is going to be a specialist in providing information like a lawyer, a professional, and they're going to be successful. So I don't see Trump coming out of this scot-free. I do see him being exposed. And sorry. And honestly, he's delusional. And a lot of the readings that I've done off camera, just throwing the cards randomly, I'm getting the Seven of Pentacles, not Pentacles, Cups a lot, which is like delusional fantasy notion. Somebody that's a fantasist and not realistic. And it also goes hand in hand with substance abuse. So I think there's still something on board with him, that this guy still lives in La La Land. So I do not feel that Trump is going to get away with this. Let me just look once again. Is Trump going to be found guilty of covering up this hush money scandal with let's see. Sorry. I'm just focusing. With Stormy. Okay. Four of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. To me, yes. This is looking at the family and family money and the domestic source. I think of where payments come from, personal maybe. And it's impacting the family brand as well. And yes, I do think that with the Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, that this cover up, this plan to use money in this way, will be revealed. And people will see that it was a plan and an effort that he covered up. The Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Wands. Again, change and success, I feel like, in this effort to, face criminal charges. There's the Two of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. It just doesn't look like it ends out very well for him. And I'm getting the message that I think mental decline will become far more noticeable, maybe after or during this trial, because I keep getting that delusional behavior. And I know he does it all the time, but there's going to be something very significant about it. And the logical mental decline is going to be evident. I see again success for King of Cups, the High Priestess in revealing what was hidden, and the World successfully done so. So I feel like there's a male that's involved in this. I need to look more closely at like who's prosecuting team and so on and so forth. I haven't really done that, to be fair, but I'm feeling like there will be a male that is really going to be able to show the hidden aspects successfully that he was trying to keep quiet. So a man and maybe two others. I don't, it feels like a team. Page of Wands and Page of Swords. Again, actively looking over information, details, even potentially, it feels like to me, surveillance of knowing where someone was and what they were doing. There's just information that's going to come out. The Lovers and the Nine of Wands. To me, this is definitely trying to control this affair or this scandal, this intimate scandal, shall we say. Knight of Cups and the Three of Wands. So there's something coming up in the future that is brought forward as an offer. Maybe this is the offer he made, or a specialist brings forward of someone wanting to walk away and abandon, neglect, sorting something out. And also just not wanting to be held to account. But someone's going to be smarter than him and point out his attempt to walk away. They're going to have the information and bring it forward that shows that he wanted to walk away from it. The Three of Pentacles. Again, I think that women are going to have victory, and those that help them. And like where we had E. Jean Carroll and we have Stormy here, I just feel like there's going to be teamwork that is successful in bringing him to account. We do get the Magician and the Fool. Not very smart. A not very smart effort to confound or cover up. There's going to be real gaps in this of risk that are really quite something else. And it's going to be obvious that he was trying to tinker with things. The Star and the Knight of Wands. Trying to keep his popularity and enthusiasm and rallies. And remain in the spotlight. The Nine of Cups and the Eight of Wands. And it's just going to show that, you know, the man is all about pleasures, what he wants for himself. He's all completely self-absorbed. And there's activity with regard to getting what he wanted. And again, I just feel like the plan, the actions taken to keep her quiet, Stormy, and to appease his wife as well. Melania is a Taurus. So this could affect now. Now, I have always seen her leaving him. This might be significant in her choosing to do so. I think she's definitely going to want to leave before the money's all gone. I feel like he's not going to feel like he's got a lot of support. I keep getting the Hermit and the Seven of Wands. So there's a sense of someone that is kind of on their own and kind of isolated. And the effort I think to defend himself. I just really get being alone. Is she going to leave him? I think she may, again, be leaning that way, but I don't know that she'll do it right away. Well, this is interesting. The Six of Swords and the Sun. So there is going to be some clarity, some movement out of this mess that is going to bring things more to order from the chaos. So I think he will be found guilty in this case. The Four of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Again, there could be a health matter here, mental clarity issues that will spring up from this. Because he's always lying, but I also feel that is this, again, a problem with the mind, a problem with just being clear. I mean, we know he's got a problem with the truth, but this feels like someone that is pulling back from the truth. Or there's healing with the truth as well. And there might be another look at partnerships or his relationship with his wife, with the Hanged Man and the Two of Cups. I think there's a delay of support. Again, where he's concerned. And the Ten of Cups and the Chariot. This is the family. And their actions to support him. I don't know, how involved his family was in helping him to cover this up in any way, shape, or form. But it feels like they may have had some hands in this. There is justice in the Four of Pentacles. So yeah, I think he's going to be found trying to control and cover this up, trying to keep financial details, in particularly within his own control and oversight. But legally, I feel like he's going to be caught and seen as guilty of this cover-up. I do feel like this is him. Um, hmm. He may feel betrayed by certain people. This could also indicate illness, though, possibly with the heart. Burden, ooh, and the moon, and fear and uncertainty. I do feel that this is going to be hard on him, and maybe in particularly his heart health. And he will be caught as out as someone that betrayed the truth and the cover up. A big burden to take care of, but it was, to me, it's like he's exposed for it, and the family too, and those connected. There's again the we're going to win no matter what. We're going to cover this up. You're going to be quiet. There's this unpleasant energy here, and not only with him, but with his extended family. I see a very emotional Ivanka who responds very quickly to news and is just, I think, kind of crestfallen and drained by the result. I think she's going to have a very emotional response to it. But I feel like he's going to be held to account. This is strength. This is you don't abuse your power. And he's not, again, above the law, and being held to account for actions that he's chosen, whims uh, that he's chosen to act upon. This is holding someone to account for maladaptive efforts. And I feel like there's an advancement of awareness, a change, a shift. And he's not on the winning, moving forward team anymore. I feel that the cover up and help given to do so will be something that certain people regret, and maybe a female in particular that may have helped him. Again, he's delusional, and I think he's going to have problems with his mental function and cognizant, cohesive um, ability to think. It just feels like it's very reactionary with this Ace of Wands, and anger, and a delusional anger at that. And I think he'll be enraged. I do. I think he'll be very angry by the outcome. So, yes, I don't think that this looks good for him at the end of the day. So, sorry it's such a long reading, but I wanted to make sure I looked at the cards thoroughly. So, my prediction is that he will not get away with this. And it's really going to kick up the decline in his mental and emotional health. It looks like it gets triggered. And his daughter as well. is going to be very upset with the outcome. So I can't say that she would be upset if he managed to get away with some things. She wouldn't be upset by that. But she would be upset with him not getting away with it. So that's what I see. Please feel free to give us a thumbs up if you appreciate readings like this. And I will see you in the next reading, and I will be looking at Putin. So, and China. I want to look at them and Ukraine and that kind of thing. But I thought I'd look at Trump's criminal trial and just see what I got. And I don't get that he is going to come through this with the result that he wanted. So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.